Hello from the Student Life Student Wellness Center. This short video is on being an active bystander when you see a harmful situation. As Buckeyes, we all have a responsibility to keep our friends and our campus safe. By intervening in bad situations, you can help accomplish this goal. But first, how do you know if something is a harmful situation? This is the pyramid of violence. It shows that small acts of bias like stereotyping or sexist jokes can set the stage for larger or more severe acts of violence like assault or emotional abuse. If someone makes a racist joke and nobody corrects them, they may then think that behavior is acceptable and progress to name-calling or harassment, and so on. This is why it's so important to be an active bystander. When you intervene when someone makes a bad joke, you might interrupt their progression to further violence. Sometimes intervening is not as simple as it sounds. Sometimes you don't realize the situation is bad, or you're afraid you might be harmed yourself. Other times, the people you're with are not doing anything, so the social cue you get says you shouldn't do anything either. If there's a lot of people around, you may think intervening is someone else's responsibility. It is okay and normal to experience these barriers. Intervening can be scary, especially if that person is your friend. All of these barriers contribute to the bystander effect, which says that the more people around, the less likely someone is to intervene. But research shows that when one person intervenes, more are likely to step in. So if you can recognize the barriers to intervening, you can overcome them and be the person to step up. And bonus, after you intervene once, you and others are more likely to intervene the next time something happens. So how do you intervene? There are tons of ways. There are definitely some situations where certain strategies work better than others, so be sure to practice all of them. And yes, they are as straightforward as they sound. The first is separating. Yep, putting some distance between the person causing harm and the person being harmed. You can separate either individual, but if it's a group of people harming one person, it's usually better to separate the person being harmed. You could ask the person you're separating if they would like to go somewhere else with you, or if they would follow you to the bathroom. You can also simply ask them if you can talk with them for a minute, or you could call or text them. Whatever you do, don't become aggressive with anyone or physically drag someone away. The next is disrupting. Here, the goal is to take the attention off the person being harmed. Basically, make a scene or change the topic. You could ask if anyone wants to go watch a movie or play a game. You could also get really excited about an adorable puppy you just saw or about someone's car being towed. As long as you don't switch to another offensive topic, choose an activity that will endanger someone, do something that will make someone angry, or leave the person being harmed alone, you can disrupt with almost anything. When you're being direct, you are directly addressing what is wrong with the situation. You can think of this as calling someone out or calling them in. Direct interventions should always be focused on the person causing harm. You could tell them what they said or did is not appropriate. You could also say something like, hey, they look really drunk. This is not something you should be doing. This looks like it's going somewhere this person is uncomfortable with, or they've already asked you nicely to back off. It's time to go. It's important to not insult or make assumptions about anyone, belittle someone, or become violent yourself when using the direct strategy. If you're not sure what to do, or if the other strategies don't feel right, you can always call for help. This could be literally calling someone like a friend, an RA, a club leader, a hall director, or OSU PD, or it could be asking someone to intervene with you. You might say, I don't like what that person said, but I'm not sure what to say, or I'm really uncomfortable with this situation. Can you help me intervene? If you do call someone on the phone, make sure they actually answer and can help. Also, keep in mind that not every situation requires law enforcement. One of the hardest things about being an active bystander is knowing what to say or do in the moment. We just talked about different intervention strategies you can use. Here are some go-to phrases you can have prepared so you know what you'll say in the moment. For example, you could say, I know about this really cool cafe on Lane. You want to check it out? Or if you're trying to disrupt, you could say, I just rewatched the last season of Game of Thrones. That was pretty wild, right? If you're directly intervening, you might say, listen, what you just said was not okay. It was really offensive, and here's why. And lastly, if you're calling for help, you could say something like, hey, this doesn't look good. We need to do something. Take some time to think of your own go-to phrases. It's helpful to have at least one go-to phrase for each intervention style. Thank you, new Buckeyes. For more information about the Student Wellness Center, check us out online or on Instagram or Twitter.